Hello, I'm Ling Hương from Hanoi and welcome to VTV News. And here are the headlines for this bulletin. A set of 9 bronze sensors from Hue's ancient citadel depict Vietnam's sovereignty over the East Sea. Later on, let's see how Telefilm 2014 swells up regional television and media industry. Now first up, a G7 summit of industrialized nations concluded on Thursday in Brussels with a joint statement outlining 43 points. One of the issues mentioned was the ongoing tensions on the East Sea. We're deeply concerned by tensions in the East and South China Sea. We oppose any unilateral attempt by any party to assert its territorial or maritime claims through the use of intimidation, coercion or force, the leader said in a joint statement. The statement, which did not mention any country by name, called on all countries to follow international law to resolve issues peacefully. The statement also emphasized the importance of freedom of navigation and aviation based on international law. This is the first time the G7 leaders have released a statement expressing concerns about tensions in Asian waters. In Hue's ancient citadel, Vietnamese sovereignty over the East Sea is clearly shown on Cửu, a set of 9 bronze sensors which has been recognized as a national treasure. This recognition of Cửu shows the country's desire for unity and territorial integrity.
Cửu is a set of 9 bronze sensors that were placed inside the citadel for Nguyễn Dynasty kings to worship. The censors were kept from 1835 to 1837 under the Minh dynasty. Notably, the East Sea was carved on the Cao Đình censors, the South Sea on the Nhân Đình censor, and the West Sea on the Trương Đình censors. These 3 censors represent the first 3 kings of the Nguyễn dynasty. They also show Vietnam territory 3 centuries ago.
Under the Tây Sơn dynasty in the 18th century, Đông Hải, or the East Sea, was the sea's only name. There was no such name as Nam Hải or the South Sea as China uses. Under the Nguyễn dynasty, we named the East Sea, South Sea, and West Sea as a way to claim the country's sovereignty.
On the Cao Đình censor, presenting King Gia Long, the first king of the Nguyễn dynasty, the words Đông Hải or East Sea are carved along the images that confirm the country's sovereignty over the East Sea, including the Paracel and Spratly archipelagos. That sovereignty has been held continuously since the Tây Sơn dynasty in the 18th century.
The 9 censors represent our wish for stability and wealth. They also show the essence of the country's fine arts at that time.
The 9 censors also featured carvings of Nguyễn dynasty military boats on the Paracel and Spratly Islands, and there is an image of a black boat that were common during the reign of King Gia Long and King Minh Mạng.
These ancient artworks clarify the country's sovereignty. It's obvious that since the Minh dynasty, we have held the rights over this water. Images carved on these censors, along with many other historical artifacts and documents, once again confirm Vietnam's sovereignty.
It shows that the Nguyễn dynasty paid special attention to Vietnam territorial waters, and the words of Đông Hải or the East Sea on the Cao Đình censor show the Vietnamese dream of longevity, wealth, and territorial integrity.
The Ministry of Planning and Investment held a conference on Thursday to announce the overall socio-economic development plan for Vietnam's Southern Key Economic Zone and the Mekong Delta region until 2020. The plan aims to help Vietnam become a modern industrial country. The zone is expected to achieve a GDP growth rate of 8.5 to 9% each year until 2020, with 95% of its GDP coming from the industry, construction, and services sectors. The Mekong Delta region will continue to focus on food production as the nation's leading agricultural exporter. According to the plan, Ho Chi Minh City will become a multi-purpose economic center to match foreign rivals in the region. In the framework of the Vietnam Sea and Islands Week 2014, the 6th seminar on Vietnam's marine trademark was held on Friday in Haiphong. The seminar focused on international marine cooperation from now until 2020 and building Vietnam's marine trademark. Scholars, scientists and researchers presented speeches during the event which stressed the importance of marine resource management and bilateral cooperation with other countries. A plan was also drawn up to call for support from international organizations to develop Vietnam's marine trademark. 138 Vietnamese nurses deported for Japan on Thursday evening, having become the first candidates to meet the requirements set out in a contract signed between the two countries in 2012. They will work and study for 3 to 4 years and then take an official exam. If they pass this test, they will be granted national certificates that allow them to work in Japan. With huge demand for foreign laborers, Japan is a potential market for Vietnamese interns and trainees. Among the 40,000 Vietnamese currently living in Japan, around half of them are interns and trainees with official salaries.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News. Now, Vietnam Television is hosting the 3-day Vietnam International Exhibition on Film and Television Technology, or Telefilm 2014, in Ho Chi Minh City. In its second year, Telefilm 2014 has attracted more than 300 exhibitors from over 250 domestic and foreign companies, as well as more than 25 countries and territories.
After a successful collaboration with Vietnam Television on the feature film The Partner, Japan's TBS is looking for more opportunities to work in Vietnam and corner the country's 90 million audience. TBS has already received invitation to co-produce TV shows at this year's Telefilm with privately owned Vietnamese broadcasting firms.
Vietnam is a potential market for future cooperation, and Telefilm is a good opportunity of Vietnamese companies to gain experience and collaborate with international broadcasters.
Telefilm is giving us a lot of new leads, new possibilities to visit new customers in Vietnam. And also we have contacts now to Laos and Cambodia.
In its second year, the exhibition has expanded to include equipment, supplies, technology and solutions for studios and content production and post-production, not only for television, but also for the media and communication industry. Several Vietnamese media companies have signed contracts with foreign partners at Telefilm 2014. I hope this firm will find this event more and more helpful. With the advantage a 90 million audience and a growing demand in the field of media, Vietnam is expected to become one of the top choices for film and television companies from around the world, with a professional investment strategy and long-term cooperation.
Like many other broadcasting firms, VTV hopes to find more cooperation opportunities through this event. In the future, this could be a potential exchange market for TV and media firms.
Telefilm has become an annual event for both domestic and international broadcasting firms. And in 2015, the exhibition is expected to grow by a further 50%.
Biodiversity development strategies have been successfully implemented by a number of nations. South Korea has set up mangrove forests. South Africa is focusing on nature reserve management, and Singapore is looking to balance its ecosystem. So what measures is Vietnam taking to protect its rich biodiversity and ecosystem to preserve nature? The following report will give you the answer.
Cat Ba Island in Haiphong has been recognized as World Biosphere Reserve. According to scientific research, Cat Ba Island boasts rich biodiversity with a large coral reef and the exclusive Kaiba langur, a species listed in the International Red Book. In previous years, langur number in the nature reserve fell dramatically, but in the past 10 years, the preservation of this animal as well as the whole ecosystem has improved.
We feel that we are responsible for protecting the langur for future generations.
There has also been success in other provinces, including Thừa Thiên Huế and Nam Định, where work is being carried out to protect the mangrove forest in Xuân Thủy National Park. This success has been made possible with support both financially and technically from the park, nature reserves, the Biodiversity Preservation Department, and other organizations. Biodiversity areas also need to take into account the role of the community. The community can help in the decision-making process and the preservation of these areas. As well as adjusting the legal framework for biodiversity preservation, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment is pushing forward solutions for conservation planning and collaboration with international counterparts.
We need to cooperate more with international organizations as well as other countries and take advantage of community involvement in the process.
The management and preservation of biodiversity and natural resources need to be backed by the whole community, especially as the effects of climate change start to become more severe.
VTV News will now continue with the weather updates. And that's the end of our news bulletin at this hour. Thank you very much for watching. You can go to vtv4.vn for other updates, and goodbye for now.